Good morning to you and welcome to NTV Uganda. It's the 19th of December 2025. I am Priscilla Regina Naluoga, and of course today we bring you a timely and a deeply important discussion, one that speaks directly to opportunity, equity, as well as the future of Uganda's young women as they turn the pages in 2026 on the 15th of January, electing their leaders from the most top position of the country to the other direct government or central government and local government. Across the country, thousands of bright and determined young girls are completing secondary school every single year, yet many are never crossing the threshold into higher education, meaning that they'll finish primary, they'll finish secondary, and then they'll be lost in between. They're unaccounted for into the higher education. And this is not because of their lack of ability. Many a times you find they are bright young ladies, but it's because of the structural barriers. For example, poverty, meaning that their families where they come from cannot afford education. Displacement because of some, civil wars here and there, or instability within communities leading them to move from one area code to another. There's also the element of disability, and some, especially in places advancing to higher education, have made it difficult for people with disability to continue on pursuing education, and limited access pathways. Now, today's discussion is going to help us ask a critical question. How do we ensure that talent, not circumstances such as those I have mentioned above, determines a girl's future? So our focus this morning is empowering girls' futures through the Higher Education Access Program, which is also known as HEAP. This is an initiative led by FAWE Uganda, and this program is proudly sponsored to you by FAWE Uganda. Now, just a profile of FAWE Uganda. Having been founded in 1997, FAWE Uganda is one of the 34 national chapters, and this is for the Forum of African Women Educationalists, a pan-African yet indigenous NGO having been established by 5 women ministers of education at the time in our history. FAWE's vision is clear and uncompromised: a world where African girls and women fully participate in education as well as society. So over nearly 3 decades, FAWE Uganda has been at the forefront of closing the gender gap in education. They've also been at the forefront of influencing national education policies and equally championing girls' access, retention, and success at all levels of education in Uganda. So at the center of today's conversation is the Higher Education Access Program, which is now in its second phase, which phase started running in 2024 and is spreading all the way to 2030, supporting 1,800 marginalized youth, 80% of them being female, from across 63 districts of Uganda, and this includes refugees, also persons with disabilities. This is through access to university and TVET education in STEM fields. So we're talking about science, mathematics, to mention but a few. So you can be part of this discussion online and also live on NTV Uganda across all our social media platforms. If you do have a sentiment or comment or two, you can use the hashtag Girls Education and hashtag HEAP and be able to follow up on the conversation. In studio with me, I'm joined by distinguished voices, and these are bringing policy, practice, mentorship, as well as lived experiences into one panel. Immediate left has Canon Calvin Okello, who's the program coordinator education at FAWE Uganda, and he oversees education programming at national advocacy levels and, of course, efforts. Canon, you're most welcome and good morning.
Thank you, Priscilla. Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you. Then we also do have next to him Achola Gloria, a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery student, and she's taking these at Gulu University, and a current HEAP program participant representing the future of this initiative, that it's the future that we are seeking to build through this initiative. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
How does it feel to be pursuing this?
It is really nice.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
We're so excited to hear your story this morning.
Thank you.
Later on, we'll be hearing her testimonial. And then next to her, we do have Dr. Hannington Gumisiriza, who is a lecturer in the chemistry department. This is at the Faculty of Science at Murray University of Science and Technology, a key technical expert on this panel on the Higher Education Access Certificate. Good morning to you, Doctor, and you're most welcome.
Good morning, Priscilla. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure
to discuss about HEAP program.
Yes. Thank you so much. And finally, we also do have Sarah Kutesa, a lecturer at Busitama University, a FAO Uganda alumna, and now a mentor, giving back the program that shaped her journey. You're most welcome, mentor.
Thank you, Priscilla. I'm glad to be here.
All right, so it's a pleasure to have them join us as you're also joining us on this conversation. Now, we want to start setting the scene of where we are coming from. When we look to FAO Uganda and how it's been a long trusted voice in Ugandan girls' education. Let me start with you, Canon. As a FAO Uganda, trusted voice on Ugandan girls' education, as we begin, help us understand what problems HEAP was trying to actually address and what specific gaps were you trying to fill in coming up with this initiative?
Thank you. Thank you, Priscilla and NTV, for hosting us as a team from FAO Uganda. As already indicated, FAO being a national non-governmental organization, a pan-African which is operating in the entire Africa. FAO Uganda is one of the chapters in Africa, the 34 chapters implementing the Higher Education Access Program. FAO Uganda and the mother FAO, which was founded in 1992 by a group of 5 women to address the gender gaps in education in Africa. What as FAO we are looking at is to address the issues affecting girls' education, especially in the areas of access to education. FAO Uganda started working with the MasterCard Foundation in 2017. And in 2017, we got funding from the MasterCard Foundation to support 300 young women and young men. And we were able to, throughout the 7-8 years, we were able to support 334 young people in the ratio of 20% boys and 80% girls. And when you look at this, the whole of our focus was to promote access to education. Mm-hmm. We work, FAO did assessment in the entire country. And in this phase 1 of the program, we were able to work with 13 districts. And these 13 districts are the most, when you look at the vulnerability index, we look at the status in these districts. We work with the 13 districts ranging from the Karamoja region, where we work with Amudat, Kabong, Karenga, Bulisa. In the west, we work with Ntoroko, Bundibujo, and Pader, among others. In the east, we went to Buyende, Mayuge, Buko. When you look at all these districts, when we did the assessment with the district leadership, we found a lot of challenges. Getting to personnel in these districts. When you interact with the community in these districts, you hardly get science native teachers to help our growing schools. You hardly get native doctors. You find a school, like a school, you get a school in Amudat, where you find one physics teacher is running from senior 1 to senior 6. You find a hospital where the ratio of patients to the doctor, almost you hardly find people who are around. And it is even worse when it comes to the holidays like this, where all the people who have gone there to support, to work in the areas, run away. So this program was designed in such a way that how do we close that gap to create to support human resource locally in these districts. That is why the program that we started in 2017 was to identify struggling children from these districts, take them to school, and be able to support them to get back to these districts and work and close this gap. I am telling you that when we started this program in 2017, this program worked so well. We were able to support and then work with the district leadership, with the structures that help us to identify the students. And we supported the 334 who have finished their studies. Out of the 334. Already we have only 7 who have not yet, who are still at school. 308 have completed school and have gone back to these districts, and already 200 out of this, 278 are working. Although some of them are not working in this district, because when it comes to jobs is the problem
and opportunities,
also. And
yes,
opportunity.
yeah.
So 278 are already working, and 19 of them have gone to upgrade in masters. Others are doing other courses. So when you get a feedback, we are able to feed the seed schools. We are able to feed, because the program we are running is a science-related, is supporting students in the science-related courses, especially in all the STEM subjects. We are able to produce teachers, the nurses, the agriculturists, and we have continued to work with the district local government to continue supporting them, to give them access to opportunities.
All right.
So this has grown up to, although the group were affected somehow by COVID, but I'm glad that they were able to, the success is almost 99% in this program.
Okay.
And this gave birth to phase 2 of the program.
All right, we'll come to phase 2, but kudos to the work that was achieved in phase 1, 334, and ensuring that they all pursue higher education, and even some going ahead to upgrade, be relocated back into their districts to now contribute to the STEM growth and development in their communities. That's a step in the right direction. Allow me to now bridge to Dr. Gumisiriza. One of the innovations under HEAP is the Higher Education Access Certificate. We want to have a better understanding of what elements are composed in this certificate and how it's actually intended in your perspective, from a technical perspective and academic perspective, how it has actually been a game changer for the 334 that were part of phase 1 of this HEAP program.
Thank you very much, Priscilla, for that question. When it comes to the HEAP program, it is a program that has been designed to help the disadvantaged. As Okero was saying, when they were going to these districts to get people, even they could fail to get the people to help, because you find they have not performed to the minimum requirements. But that performance was not, or is not always, a true reflection of the potentials they have, as you put it in your introduction. It's not that they are not gifted. They are gifted, but disadvantaged. And that's why they couldn't perform well. You could find, as he said, as a teacher who teaches from senior 1 to senior 6, one subject, and is the only teacher, you don't expect those students to perform as in a situation where you find that each class has its own teacher. Even some schools have streams. Each stream has a teacher. So you find that even sometimes when they are doing, because this is a science-oriented, when they are doing practicals, they do the first practical maybe at MOOCs, and then the next practical is UNEB. So you find that the students don't perform, and based on the facilities, the location of the institution, and many other factors, even the environment they are living in. So this is how it came that, how can we bridge this gap between the disadvantaged and the university entry requirements? So it created a need to have this bridging course, which we call the Higher Education Access Certificate. It is not a qualification certificate that someone gets it and then seeks for employment. It is not a professional certificate, but it is to help this student to access higher education.
Okay.
Because we found out that a number of students was locked out. And then there is this thinking, what if they repeat? But they will repeat in the same environment. Would it change anything? No. So that's why the HEAP came, that it is put at the university level where this student is introduced into the university setting as well as taught the A-level content at a uniform ground, so that the capacity of this student is now leveled, competes with others at a situation where his capacity or her capacity can be evaluated.
So at what point does HEAP come in?
Now, the HEAP comes in that when a student completes A-level but does not meet the minimum requirements for entry to any higher education institution or system, can do the HEAP, and then that HEAP bridges or gives a certificate that can give the opportunity to be accepted, to be admitted in the university or at the diploma level.
All right. And what's the period of the HEAP?
It is 1 year.
1 year.
And it is designed in a way that 70% of the content covered is related to A-level. So the biology is A-level biology. But then here the HEAP program puts in the bridging now, which we have courses that are mandatory. The life skills education, the academic writing, study skills and academic writing, which empowers now this student to be initiated into the university setting. Okay.
Before we go to the alumni, so just so our audience can understand that the Higher Education Access Program, that when it's uptaking students, it does evaluations to see those who need to maybe uptake the certificate so that they can be better positioned to have access to higher education. That's primarily how it works, right? Canon?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Just as the doctor said, FAWE is at the front line of promoting the Higher Education Access Certificate. From the assessment we have done, we noticed that majority of the students who sit exams from these districts are greatly challenged. They hardly compete. You find we have a standards for you to qualify for a degree program at the university. You must have got 2 principal passes. And then you notice that when results come, majority of the children from some of these districts without teachers, overpopulation in class, it is hard to reach. You find majority are in 1 principal pass or subsidiary passes. So the program of HEAP, which the Higher Education Access Program, was one of the objectives, was to support work with the universities to design this program, to support this kind of children who have got subsidiaries or 1 principal pass. So
between these gentlemen, 2 ladies that have been supported by this program, one is now actually a lecturer and a mentor, the other is undergoing the program currently. But I'll start with the multiplier effect. Sarah Kutesa, you are one that has been in a unique position, having been a former FAWE beneficiary. Now you're a lecturer and now you're also a mentor. First of all, kudos to that. How did you get into the HEAP program? Take us through that journey briefly.
Thank you so much. Greetings, our viewers. My name once again is Sarah Kutesa from Buyende district. That's where FAWE got me. And in 2017, when the HEAP program funded by MasterCard was just initiated, found me at the crossroad after senior 6, and I'm there. I don't know what next due to financial limitations. And then FAWE picked me up. I enrolled into Bustema University and did a Bachelor's of Education in Science Agriculture. And through the diverse aspects of FAWE Uganda incorporated in the HEAP program, one of them was mentorship. my experience was very life-changing, that I was able to be guided academically, emotionally, socially, and this helped me and shaped me into the person I am today, that I can proudly say I am a mentor. The program gave me access to higher education, which would have been a very big challenge due to financial limitations. But also, in addition to the academic support, the tuition fees, the program equipped me with...
Let's just suppose that you get academic support.
Yeah.
You also get tuition fees. So for everything concerning your education, right from the fees themselves to all the other complementary fees, admission fees, the per semester fees, all that is catered to.
Yeah, actually, for Uganda...
For the books, the textbooks that you need and all the other forms of information you need, all that is access to you.
Yes, right from the transport that transported me from home. Mm-hmm. And we had the first phase was the extended rotation program, where they prepared us before we get into the university environment. So right from that, from the time I got my award letter as a beneficiary, everything was catered from my transport, my school fees. I got a computer. I got everything stationary, catered for each and everything throughout the program.
Okay.
And there were a lot of life-changing skills, leadership skills, a lot of trainings, and this helped us and equipped us, like brought back the hope. It gave me the confidence that my dreams were still valid regardless of my background. And it changed my vision of things. Mm-hmm. It broadened my vision, shaped me, and changed my mindset completely. And today I am here, giving back to Fawe, giving back to the community that nurtured me.
Okay. All right, Dr. Gumisiriza, you mentor students under HEAP. I want to understand from your perspective how critical mentorship has been in ensuring that more and more girls actually have that access and it translates into success, because there's having the access, they'll acquire the education, but it actually coming and resulting into meaningful, impactful success is a whole game changer. So moving beyond admission and access to education to actually being productive and impactful.
Thank you very much. Beginning with the HEAP itself, when someone, because HEAP was not popular then, someone mentioning that I'm doing HEAP, the public wasn't aware. And it was like, maybe I've mentioned something that doesn't exist, that doesn't give anything. Mm-hmm. So in mentorship, the first step is always to make sure that these students accept they are doing HEAP program, and HEAP program is not a shortcut of A-level, because that's what people think. And some people, when they meet these HEAP students, they tell them, you are failures, that's why you are doing HEAP. But then it is telling them that HEAP is not a shortcut, but HEAP is a program to help them access, so that they first understand what HEAP is, mm-hmm. so that when they are met and with resistance, because everything new meets resistance, so they are positive, mm-hmm. and they are strengthened via that. Okay. Then also, as a girl child, there are many challenges. There are many challenges they face. So during the mentorship, there are programs that we normally have, the mentorship group, and then we meet these students and empower them with counseling, with career guidance, so that even when they know that after finishing the HEAP program, there is still progress, and they are able to transit to another level, and that's why you find that they have even been able to integrate into the system, and they even compete favorably with the rest of the students that come direct from A level. That is about the mentorship that we give them.
On that note, Sarah, how comfortably competitive were you in the environment, having gone through the HEAP program, which was a unique entry for you against those that had direct access to higher education?
The first phase was direct entry. Okay. I didn't go through the HEC.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, you are under HEAP.
Yes.
So under HEAP, how did it position you to comfortably compete against your peers who came in, by directly I mean they had access to financing and support in all other ways to access education easily?
I don't want to say it was smooth all through. Somehow there were challenges, as some of us were tagged as children of the poor. That's why you came through FAWE, through the HEAP program. But then due to the preparedness that FAWE offered to us, we had a 2 weeks extended orientation program just to prepare us before we got into the university environment. And that gave us a lot of confidence during the mentorships. We met different people from different universities, those who have made through, and they had to talk to us, make us accept that regardless of their background, this does not define our future. The circumstances that we were going through were very different. And when we reached university, we realized we were better off than many of them. We competed favorably because we had all the support we needed. And we felt part of the community that was at university, and we are treated equal, because when we reach class, the lecturer will not ask who is on HEAP, who is on government. The content is the same. And this somehow to praise myself. In my class, I was the best student of the year, that graduation of 2022. And I was on HEAP, so it was real good. It helped us, and we fitted in and competed favorably with the rest.
Okay, all right. We do have another testimonial seated amongst us, Chola Gloria. Thank you so much for being with us. To the viewer out there who's watching and they are experiencing, as maybe a parent, a guardian, or even a child themselves, they are having limitations to accessing higher education. What's your story?
Thank you so much. My name is Gloria Chola. I'm a medical student from Gulu University doing Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. I come from Apache district and one of the beneficiaries of Higher Education Access Certificate under FAWE. My story, it started after A-level. When I completed A-level, of course it was not easy, you know, coming from a disadvantaged family and your parents are struggling. By the mere fact that you are doing BCM at A-level, everyone thinks you're already a doctor, when even you're still not yet a doctor.
I mean, you're already cutting the rats and you're already...
Yes. So people think that you're a doctor, but at that level, you're not yet a doctor. So when the results came back for Senior 6 and things didn't go on well, and you know, my parents were so disappointed because they had hope in me. I have not made and got the requirement, even the minimum point needed for you to join the university. So I gave up. I was home. I didn't know what to do. Like a month, my friend called me. We have been friends since Senior 5 up to now. We are still friends.
Wow.
She called me and she told me that, Gloria, do you know what? There's a program at Gulu University called Higher Education Access Certificate. I told her, what's the program all about? Me, I've never had such kind of program. All we know is you go for degree, but certificate, I don't know about the program. Then I told her, I'm going to discuss it with my parents, then I get back to her, of which I stayed for 2 weeks. I didn't get time to talk to my parents, but she didn't give up. She called me again after 2 weeks. She told me, Gloria, apply for this program. It is good. Then I told her, yes, I will apply for the program. I talked to my dad. and my uncle, of course my relative, but all of them didn't buy the idea, of which I didn't blame them because they didn't know what higher education access certificate means at that time. I tried explaining, so I had to look for a way of my own, because all of them, the only thing they were telling me is to go back and repeat. But I was not comfortable with going back to repeat A-level again. And they told me if I don't want, I go and do a certificate in pharmacy, which I went and applied at Mbale. But then this thing of the higher education access certificate that my friend told me about, but it is only a mother who always believes in you, even when everyone else refused. I talked to my mom about the program. I called one of the lecturers at Gulu University. I got some connection, then I called. It's called Mr. Okelo Peter. I called him to inquire what HEAP program was. Then he talked to me and he guided me very well. I talked to my mom. She gave me 50,000 to go and apply. I applied for the program. Now, that is why she was talking about mentorship. Mentorship is very important. I told myself that A-level didn't go well. What next can I do? I went to this lecturer. I talked to Mr. Okelo Peter. I talked to him. I said, what can I do? I don't know what higher education access certificate is. Then he told me, be focused. If you want to achieve your dream, know what you want. So I read. When I was in higher education access certificate, I told myself I would sleep only for 2 hours for 1 year. The course is for 2 semesters, and that is 1 year. So I used to read up to when I managed to become the top 4 of my class, and I got Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery, and that was 2022.
Wow.
So it is all about determination on what you want. Higher education. The course, first of all, is not very hard. You do things you have been doing in A-level, the biology, the chemistry, but of course, some of the part is for the degree and others is for A-level. But it depends on how you also put in.
Okay. Help me understand how, having now joined HEAP, and you did the certificate and now are pursuing your bachelor's, how it has not only changed your academic path, but it has also boosted your confidence and also your sense of possibility that the future you've always dreamt of for yourself is actually possible.
Thank you so much. Besides getting my dream course of doing medicine, higher education access certificate has opened for me various opportunities. One of them is leadership skill. I was a leader when I was doing HEAP. I was the coordinator. When I joined degree, I led the class for 2 years as a class president. That was year 1 and year 2 of medicine. I was the class president. And beside that also, it gave me the opportunities to get the FAWE scholarship. I got the scholarship and I'm doing better, because I lost my mom after completing the higher education access certificate. So when I got FAWE scholarship, now I am also competing with the rest of the class. Yes. Then also, beside that, right now that I'm here, it is because of HEAP. If I had not done HEAP, I would not be here. So I get to know different people. I meet different kind of people I talk to. I even go and, advise my other girls who are in the village that this is not the end. There are still other ways that you can go. Because last year I talked to around 10 girls, and believe me, all these girls did higher education access certificate, and they are not doing various courses at degree program.
All right. So briefly, Canon, we want to address some things that have come out from the testimonials of Kutesa and Chola. One of them is the HEAP program. Is it centered? I know it's primarily centered on STEM, but when you are receiving applications and considering applications, is there a consideration for the arts also, or someone should have been uptaking STEM-related studies to then qualify for the HEAP program?
Thank you, Priscilla. The current program, the current HEAP program we are implementing, phase one had some component of arts, especially English and literature, because it came from still our assessment, especially for teachers, where you hardly get English teachers and literature teachers in these areas where we are working with. But the design of the phase two is strictly on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And now we have agriculture, which is our backbone. So these are the areas that we are supporting. This program is focusing on developing from, we are building on the Sustainable Development Goals and the NDP 4, which is looking at education. So the science focus is as a result of our assessment. Just as I told you at the beginning that FAWE, as part of their support, we do a lot of research. We do a lot of research and advocacy. Okay. And considering that very few girls are in these areas of STEM, a lot of our focus, 80%, has gone to look for to support girls to enroll into the STEM-related subjects, especially in these areas where we are working in.
Okay, and the 20% of course goes to boys.
To boys, yeah.
FAWE primarily was focusing on girls, but having realized that now there's a gap on the other side, you've had an inclusion factor there to bring in boys also on board. That being said, also Canon, I want to find out then, when it comes to the criteria of eligibility for one to be considered into this program, what is it?
Yeah, before I get into the criteria, we are now in the phase two. Yeah. We are now in the phase two, which was built from the phase one. The success we registered in phase one gave birth to the phase two program. And as I told you at the beginning, that the phase one supported 330, and phase two is now supporting 1,800 young women and men. Still 80% young women and then 20% boys. And this program is promoting a lot of inclusion. Inclusion, looking at the refugees. In this program, we are looking at 10% refugees and 5% persons with disabilities. Although it is coupled with a few challenges, essentially getting to persons with disability on the STEM-related subjects. I indicated that phase one, we are working with the 13 districts. Phase two expanded to 63 districts in Uganda, and we are working in all the traditional regions of the country. And many times, where did you get that? We had the parameters on how we should get into these districts. Currently, we are working directly with about 29 partner institutions, both TVET and the universities. The phase two is looking at 4 areas. Major focus, one is promoting access to education, that is supporting the 1,800 students, which we are now in year 2. We are now in year 2 of the phase 2. And then the focus number 2 is
so all the 1,800 are already on the pathway.
No, out of the 1,800, we have recruited 1,183. Okay. 183, because being a 7-year program running from 2024 to 2030, we right now we are now building up to do the recruitment for 3rd year. Okay. So we are working in this. We have structures. Getting into the criteria, we have structures in this program. We devolve a 3-level committee who will help us to get this student. We have a district bursary level committee, we have the regional bursary level committee, and then the national level committee. And these are the people who sits together with FAWE to identify. Priscilla, as I tell you that this year we are targeting 700 students to support them
to enroll
for the program. But we receive 8,000 plus application, and you need to get 700 out of the 8,000. So it is the work of these different committees to help sieve the program. One of the criteria is that for you to benefit from this program, you must be coming from these districts, from these 63 districts I have mentioned. We have many districts in Uganda. We have many districts. Even you receive so many applications from the districts which are not part of the program. You must be between the age of 15 to...
Just before, on the district part, district by birth and origin, or what's the criteria of determining? Because I could move to the district that has been shortlisted as a focal point area for FAO. So what's the determinant for me at district?
Yeah, the determinant, you must be applying from the district of birth. Okay. Yeah, we only met a few challenges, especially because we incorporated Kampala into our program, and you know the dynamics of Kampala. The majority of the applicants are people who have settled here, so we look into those dynamics. We do a lot of consideration. Yeah, for our natives, we have a limit of 25. You must not be above 25 years old by the time of your application. And then refugees, because of their dynamics, we got feedback in year 1 where we extended the one of refugees to 30 years because of their dynamics of running up and down. You must have applied or have been admitted to one of the institutions, the partner institutions we are working with. And we also look at your vulnerability status. You must be from a struggling family. So we have the parameters that we look into, and then above all, you as an applicant, you must be within the courses that we are looking at, within the STEM related courses. We received so many applications from the HEAP students, and from the HEAP students, because even if you applied and say we only need applicants who have done science, but still because of what is pressure, this is I say let me also try. So we have received a big number of students who are applying to do HEAPs in different areas. So when you look at this, you hear Dr. spoke about the higher education access certificate. So HEAP is the mother program, and then the higher education access certificate, which is the HEC, is one of the areas that HEAP is promoting. Yes. We work with these universities to support. So you'll notice now that there are so many universities that has adopted who are implementing HEC, which is higher education access certificate, because of the testimonies and what is coming out from the people who have gone through the higher education access certificate. You are hearing the testimony from Gloria. There are so many friends and colleagues of Gloria who have gone through the same program, and really they have very, very inspiring testimonies outside there, and a number of them are already, especially with us as FAWE. When Busitema University took on the program, developed that program, and National Council for Higher Education approved the program, with us as FAWE, we supported the first pioneer program participants, 60 of them who went through this bridging program. And all of them have completed, and all of them are now into the world of work. Out of the 60, 2 who were doing medicine because of longer period of COVID, they completed this year. And a number of them are teachers, agriculturists, and engineers.
On that note, first I see it also focusing on universities, but also tertiary and TVET institutions. So does that mean that when you're uptaking at applicant level, you are having consideration of those that stopped at senior 4?
Yeah, the first 2 out of the 1,800, 1,000 is supporting students who did not meet the requirements to join degree program at the university. Is supporting students through HEC, 1,000 of them. And then 800 is to the TVET. You know, with the countries going skilling program.
Skilling,
and
yeah.
we are also supporting government, working with government to supplementing government effort in promoting the skilling program in the country. So the program support the students in the different areas, especially the medical areas, where students who have done Senior 4 can do a certificate in nursing, a certificate in midwifery, a certificate in pharmacy, anesthesia, and physiotherapy, and others. And then also the diploma program, where still in laboratory technology, orthopedic, and so many other related courses. And then when you get to the agriculture, we support a number of students at Bukalasa Agricultural College doing that. They're doing agricultural college, diploma programs, and then also directly working with Uganda Technical Colleges, where we support the students who are doing diploma in civil engineering, diploma in water engineering, refrigeration, among other courses at the Uganda Technical Colleges. Okay. And uniquely also, we work with the Uganda Petroleum Institute, where we support students who are in the field of oil exploration. So we also have students that we are supporting them within that. Okay. So the phase 2 is broad and is looking at all this. When you get the testimonies of mentorship, mentorship has helped us to implement this program, because there are a number of models that beside the provision of scholarships, there are models that we have introduced to support the students grow up. You heard they talk about the extended orientation program, where FAWE designed to support these students from this disadvantaged community to prepare them for higher education. Some of these students come from these districts. They have never reached Kampala. They have never reached their higher education. So we designed this model of higher education, of the external orientation program, to support them. Okay.
Also, allow me to turn to Dr. Gumisiriza. In terms of HEAP, talk to us about the transformative impact HEAP has had on, changing the mindset, especially for the designers of higher education and the institutions, in being more open-minded to have everyone included in accessing higher education.
Thank you very much. When it comes to the HEAP program, it started as the testimonies you had, people didn't know about it. But many universities are coming up and they are accepting the program. And these students who normally go through the HEAP program, or they access the HEAP program, they are admitted in different programs after completion, because this is just not a completion certificate, but just a bridging certificate to allow access to higher education. So these students have joined different programs at universities. Certain universities even have accepted to take over all the students that they have, and all these now, you find that they are totally admitted. That is one way of popularizing it, and they have because when they join, as you heard the testimonies, they compete favorably with the rest. They compete favorably with the rest, and therefore HEAP has become is slowly becoming an acceptable route of entry or of access to higher education programs within the institutions of higher learning. Of course, any new system meets resistance, but because of the mentorship programs, the sensitization and the support that FAWE is giving to different institutions, this program is actually helping the communities to transit. Actually, you find that even the academic staff, some members of academic staff, have been able to enroll their children to HEAP. And that shows a high level of acceptance, because they really see what is being done, and these students perform very well. We have an example of one of the students from Guru University becoming the guild president. That is an indicator that it has moved someone from that low status, the hopeless situation, to the situation that someone gets confidence. There is one who was trying also to contest for the position of the president of the Republic of Uganda. That shows that actually HEAP is transforming society.
Wow.
And there are many, we believe with this number that is coming, the increase in the numbers, we believe to see a lot of transition, because if I can borrow from the private sponsorship at universities, when it was starting, it was being seen as if it is taken by those people who failed, and therefore their parents have money and then they are buying way into university. But now actually the reverse is true, because if I don't get medicine on government and I have money, I can pay for it and there is no problem. So the same thing applies. For example, we have another entry route, which is the mature entry. The mature entry is also a route that is okay, that is acceptable. So even HEAP, being new, the challenges that are being faced, not being known, people can't access it easily because they lack information. But we believe with time, it will be uniformly, people will know it from all corners of Uganda. And even actually, there are many counties that have come to Bora Reef and they are implementing
benchmarking. Let me come back to Colonel Okello. On that regard, this is a program, and especially the certificate has to be recognized by the institutions, the government institutions that oversee higher education and its uptake. So how were you able to advocate for its recognition on that level, and also walk us through how you were able to engage government in order for them to find it and accept it as a legal and eligible way to access higher education, to ensure that it's implemented? Thank you,
Priscilla. The Higher Education Access Program, because FAWE has been at the forefront, some people look at it that it is a FAWE innovation. Me, I said no. As FAWE, with us, we have come into work with the universities that have initiated to start the program. Our work is to support the universities that have appreciated the program and have started developing the curriculum. What have we done? We started working with 3 universities. We started working with the Mbara University of Science and Technology, Buzitema University, and Gulu University. What we do as FAWE Uganda is to support these universities to build the capacity of the staff in developing this curriculum. It is upon the university to develop their curriculum and submit it to National Council for Higher Education to approve. If National Council for Higher Education look at it as something, the curriculum is worth and good, National Council, through their mandate, they approve the program there. But our work is, our role is to promote within the community and say, there is Higher Education Access Certificate Program at Mbarara, at Buzitema, and we encourage the community. We have supported this university to organize stakeholders engagement, being a new program as a 4th entry route into the university. Very few know about it. When you get to the community and ask them about the bridging program, people ask you, what is this? So as FAWE, our work, because we are working with the universities, our work is to ensure that we support the universities to popularize the program. We have supported them to develop their materials, their reference materials. One of the biggest boosts is the securing funding from the MasterCard Foundation to sponsor students into this program. And Priscilla, I'm happy that over 30 universities are now implementing this program. A number of them, we are not sponsoring the students there. They have adopted, they have seen that the program is sustaining, and they can attract students that can generate funding for them, funding for the institution. Yeah, we do a lot of our target at the end of 30 years, at the end of the 7 years, 2030. We expect that if all the universities in Uganda embrace this program, it could have created a big opportunity for the what? For the bigger number of
bridging the gap to higher education.
Exactly.
On that note, year 2 has ended of phase 2. You're preparing for the 3rd year.
Yes.
Yeah. So we want to find out, what does success look like by the end of 2030, when you'll be closing the books on phase 2 for FAWE Uganda, but also for the young girls who are in the picture of Gloria as well as Sarah?
Yeah, we are working in phases. We are now in year 2 of the phase 2. And next year, we are embarking on the recruitment for year 3. And then you notice within the 7 years, the 1,800, the recruitment stopped in year 4. The rest of the years is to support the completion. This program is rich because within the 7 years, there's a component of supporting some of these students with good business skills to develop entrepreneurship ideas. Not everybody wants to look for a job. There are others who want to go into the field of business. So through the models, the mentorship models, the gender responsive models, the excel orientation models, and issues of entrepreneurship, we expect at the end of the year that the 1,800 we could have supported this student, because the whole thing is looking at retention. The program is holistic. It provides upkeep, stipend 100%, heading studies, essentially provision of laptops to support them to study, attaching them to the mentors, because at every institution, Gloria here, they have their mentors to establish that relationship. So a number, we expect that at the end of the year, FAWE through the Higher Education Access Program should be a game changer in these communities.
And it has already been a game changer to over 300 young girls in Uganda, and that was in 13 districts. Now 63 districts, 1,800 is the figure that they're looking at to create the impact of education, therefore contributing to social and economic development. Now in 30 seconds, I'll start from our mentor, Kutesa. As we close, one sentence, what message as a mentor would you give to a young girl who doubts that higher education is possible for her?
Thank you so much. To all the young girls who are watching today, let the circumstances of today, the poor grades of senior 6, do not limit your potential. Do not limit your dreams, because programs like HEAP are there because your dreams matter. FAWE Uganda is there because they believe in you. So believe in yourself, build your confidence, and pursue your dreams regardless of the challenges at the moment. All
right, speaking of pursuing, there's the current pursuer of the phase 2 HEAP program, Gloria.
Thank you so much. The only thing I can say is, for those who are doing the program and for those who are maybe things will not work out after these results have come back, is don't give up. You just need to stay focused, trust the process, and believe in yourself. Higher Education Access Certificate, it is there for you. You can do everything and you can pass and achieve your dream course. Don't make your dream die after senior 6 has failed.
All right, looking forward to having this conversation when you're done with your studies, so that you sit where Sarah is seated, and there'll be another young lady seated here. Dr. Gomisiriza, in the element of HEC and institutions of higher education, what's your closing call to action remark?
Thank you very much. Thank you, our viewers. I would say education should never be a dead end, and HEC is one of the opportunities that can provide a bridge to those who have lost hope at a level that they can access higher education in Uganda.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, and Canon Okela?
Yeah, our call for year 3 will be out in towards the end of April. I don't know, towards the end of Feb. If the results are out, we encourage us to reach out to the struggling student outside here. When we advertise in March, let us encourage the applicants to reach out to FAWE to apply for this program, so that we don't entertain late applications I have missed. At FAWE, we are struggling a lot with the number of struggling students who are coming to cry at office looking for the opportunities. We call upon the community, the citizens, to support this program. Let us understand the Higher Education Access Certificate so that we are able to support more children to access education in Uganda.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the work that you're doing in your different capacity to ensure that more and more girls get access to higher education. So when access is intentional, mentorship is sustained, and policy meets purpose, we see our young girls here in Uganda entering into higher education, and that means that they can thrive, as the success stories of Sarah and Gloria have been alluded to us. So to FAO Uganda, thank you so much for the work that you are doing, and of course to all the different stakeholders that must support these to become a reality for all the Ugandan girls who are thinking that higher education is not their window of opportunity. Well, may the work continue and progress onwards. Let's continue the conversation online, the hashtag Girls Education and hashtag HEAP. It's been a pleasure moderating this conversation. I am Priscilla.